So look at that. Look at Orion. Nice beard.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
So here's what I'm going to ask you about. What are you doing here? What are you talking to us about?
This week, I am all about Resident Evil Revelations. It is. I've been working on Mercenaries up until now.
Right.
Resident Evil: The Mercenaries, and then this is our first sort of early look at Revelations, sort of the next Resident Evil 3DS project.
Gotcha. So we just had a talk with Takenaka-san.
Yep.
And Mao.
Yep.
So we talked a little bit about Revelations, but not a whole lot. We talked mostly about Revelations, but not Mercenaries. So
yeah. So Mercenaries is coming June 28th. So long before you get a chance to buy Revelations, keep an eye out for Mercenaries. It's going to be, it's sort of the counterpunch to Revelations. I'm sure Takenaka and Kawada-san talked about the more narrative focus of Revelations. It kind of goes back to the earlier survival horror style.
We did talk about that, yeah.
Mercenaries, sort of in contrast, it really looks at getting the same emotions, the same experiences to the player, but in a little bit more of an upbeat setting.
Okay.
Where they'll be fighting through, RE4 and RE5 levels, brought to life on the 3DS, a little bit on a quicker, faster environment.
Interesting. So, do you want to talk a little bit about Mercenaries overall? Tell us a little bit about Mercenaries in general first.
So right now,
I think most people know what it is, but
we've announced 8 playable characters, and we've announced each one will have an alternate costume. There's a campaign function. You start the game, you pick your character, pick your weapons, and then you jump in, and it gives you a mission. You complete that mission, you earn points, you can upgrade your character, upgrade your weapons, and there's a whole series of missions, over 30 missions to choose from as you progress through the campaign. The mission to mission, there's not a traditional narrative connection. It's more of a campaign progression that's based around the player, not around the story. The biggest sort of selling feature we have for it, we've got online Wi-Fi co-op. So people can play with anyone they want, anywhere in the world, with whatever characters they want. If you've ever wanted to play Jill Valentine and Jill Valentine co-op, this is your opportunity.
Jill on Jill, huh?
Jill on Jill, baby.
Interesting.
So it's more than just what, if you played Resident Evil 4 and 5 Mercenaries, that's all just kill the zombies as fast as you can. This is more than that. You've got other mission types, some more interesting, unique mission types that are not just killing zombies. Also, that's the core of the gameplay. It's a test of skill. It's a competition-based game, but it's got some variety there. You're going to be able to upgrade your characters, and there's something we're calling a skill system, which is it's sort of a cross between a perk tree and a talent tree. It's the way you're going to be able to customize your characters. Things like faster reloads, more damage against bosses, critical strikes, or lightning attacks on your melee. Just stuff like that.
Seems like a lot deeper than when it comes to those kind of elements in most Resident Evil games.
Yeah,
or than any Resident Evil game, I should say.
It's actually our first look at a Resident Evil game with these elements. So it's doing a lot of things within the Resident Evil universe that have never been done before. I'm talking about upgrading weapons, fully customize our arsenals, and obviously that skill system is unique. You can move and shoot at the same time. Like I said, online co-op. So it's really a deep, interesting experience on the 3DS.
So let's hop into some questions to fans. We tried to answer as many as we could earlier, but I don't think we answered nearly as many as these guys would have liked.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, there is one.
What's up?
And maybe you know. When's Revelations coming out?
That question. We do not have a release date to announce at this time. I know.
That explains why nobody knew.
Trust me, guys. you will be the very first to know when we announce one. I promise you that. If you're on Unity or the Facebook page, we will get it out there as soon as I can. I know you guys want a release date, and I'm pushing for that. The good news is on June 28th, when Mercenaries comes out, you guys can pick that up, and that'll have an exclusive demo that the guys here can't play. It's brand new. It's not at E3. It's a different demo that you can get in Mercenaries.
Interesting.
Okay, I've got some questions here. Did they release? No, that's not for me.
Leon, you can talk about him.
I don't know the price of the Wii U. Leon as DLC. We haven't announced DLC plans. Keep an eye out. Will zombies make it into Revelations? We haven't given a name to the enemies yet. Right now we're calling them water-based creatures. In Revelations, well, water is pervasive in the environment. We've got it everywhere. Obviously, you're on a ship. Even the ship is leaking. Yeah. But what we'll be teaching players sort of throughout that game is to fear water. We're going to be connecting experiences with water with experiences with enemies. And people are going to see with these water-based creatures that the water really is your enemy.
It's gonna freak me out.
That's the goal.
I have this thing with seaweed when I was swimming in the ocean once. It turns out it was seaweed, but yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, if you've ever been swimming and like something brushed your leg and you just freaked out, this is that, but like 100 times worse. So
here's a question from Ulysses. How many modes will there be in the game? And I think he's talking probably about
Are you talking about
mercenaries?
So there's obviously online and co-op mode. Online co-op and single-player mode. There's sort of a tutorial mode, and then the main game. We haven't announced how many different varieties of missions there are, but there's a pretty good little variety. Take a look at any of the reviews that come out, and that's when we'll be showing, the true variety of missions in it. That's when we're going to be announcing that.
So here's a question. I should have done this. I did not properly introduce you. I just said, this is Ryan. We got talking about your beard.
What's my role on the project? I am the project's Ryan. Every project at Capcom needs a Ryan.
Project Ryan.
And that's who I am. It's not my business card.
So, full name and title, Ryan McDougal. What do you do here at Capcom? What's your role in the game?
I'm the U.S. product manager for Resident Evil Revelations and Resident Evil Mercenaries.
So you're our guy for Resident Evil today.
I am our guy for Resident Evil Portable. I'm sure you're going to be talking to Eric later on.
I tried. I know we'll be talking to Mike.
Eric's a busy guy. But yeah.
We'll talk about Raccoon City later.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Project Ryan. That's what we're hearing from people now.
Resident Evil Apparition.
So, I think his name is simply Smiley Face Emoticon. That's not his name. It is a Smiley Face Emoticon. He's asking if Revelations will have multiple environments beyond just the boat.
Oh, yes, for sure. We've already shown some of the concept art of a snowy mountain scene. And if you actually take a close look at the latest trailer, at the very end it shows Chris and a female character out in the snow. So
I believe he says her name, too.
Jessica.
I think we all know who that is. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of Chris and Jessica.
Maybe.
Will the Lonely Island be featured in Revelations? It's from, Lonely Island, the comedy troupe? No.
I don't think so.
I can confirm.
It might be, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Who knows?
So let's see what other questions we can ask here. Oh, here's a good one, actually. For water combat, it's always, or water gameplay mechanics, how long can you stay underwater before, do you drown at all? Can you...
It depends on the situation. Obviously, these are highly trained, highly funded agents where they've got, access to equipment that can be used underwater. So keep an eye out for that. But obviously you've got, they're humans, and this is not a game about superheroes. It's not a game about Space Marines or anything. There's very human limitations to, your combat, your swimming, etc. Different types of enemies, yes, very much so. in the demo we're showing today, there's already 3 different types of enemies in it. So it's a pretty good variety. You know, standard enemies that sort of lurch forward and attack you, powered up enemies, exploding enemies. There's a pretty good variety.
Very cool.
The giant Neptune shark from the first game. Fair question, no answer for you. Space Marines aren't human. Well, they're augmented humans. I see a question about RE6. I just want to confirm, yes, we see you. That's a good question. We're not talking too much about RE6 today. Keep an eye out in the future.
So here's another question from White Valentine. Does Mercenaries 3D have online leaderboards?
We haven't announced their presence. Keep an eye out for reviews, and I think that's something that will be covered in reviews of the game. Coming soon.
So someone's asking if we'll see it on the PS Vita.
Great question. We haven't announced any PS Vita games that I'm aware of other than Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So is Resident Evil a brand that would make sense on the PS Vita? Obviously. But we haven't announced any titles for it.
All right.
Crossover IPs. That's a good question. If you take a look at the alternate costumes, there's a couple of sort of interesting crossover-inspired costumes.
Yeah, definitely.
The alternate costumes are actually, I think they're really strong. There's some really, really fun, interesting ideas in there. They're not just different colors or anything. These are bizarre, otherworldly costumes for the game. So I'm pretty happy for it.
Here's a question. We talked from Taj, I think is his name. We talked a little bit about, or you did, for the campaign in Mercenaries.
Yes.
With that, are we going to see any difficulty levels? I mean, is there going to be a varying set? Like, is there going to be like an easy to go along with that, or a hard, or?
Yeah, there's a progression throughout the game where because it's sort of score based. It's not traditional, easy, medium, hard. But you'll be able to, by say changing what weapons you bring to the battle, you can make it harder for yourself if you want. If you want to make it a little easier, bring a friend to the battle or join a friend online. That'll make it a little bit easier for you to pick up and play. But obviously there's sort of, each mission is classified depending on its difficulty. There's missions with more bosses. There's missions with harder enemies, like an RE5, the ones that close up and are armored, ones with, frontal face armor, that type of stuff. So, yeah, there's a pretty good variety of difficulty. And it's a full-featured campaign. You can choose what you want to play.
Very cool. Here's one from Harv. Will Revelations have possible unlockable modes or content like the GameCube Resident Evil remake?
We're not announcing any specific unlockable modes, but what I would say is this is a robust, thorough it's the next story element of Resident Evil. Expect from Revelations everything that you would expect from a brand new Resident Evil game. It's a new story, and with that comes the opportunity for crazy unlockables, crazy new modes. There's going to be a lot in there to take a look at. What is Hunk's role in Revelations? That is an awesome question, and we will definitely be having more about that soon.
I'm sad that you're not going to answer it now, are you?
There's so many questions here. I'm like, oh, that's such a good question. These people obviously know Resident Evil, and I want to tell them these things, but I have a PR timeline that my coworkers get mad when I just go crazy with.
All right, let's see.
I see a Muhammad question. Will the current demo of Revelations from E3 be released via eShop? All I can say is I've got forms for eShop demo submissions. There's a very different requirements from Nintendo about what we show on the eShop versus what we can show in person in terms of file size and regulations. So I've got it can be done, but it might not be this demo. I definitely want to have an eShop demo for the title from a marketing perspective. So I want you guys to try this game and see how good it is. First and foremost, though, there's the Mercenaries demo. I would say play that first. That's going to be a very solid demo.
Very cool. When is that going out?
The Mercenaries demo?
Yeah.
June 28th. Buy Mercenaries, get the demo for Revelations. Oh, sorry, a demo for Mercenaries. Unfortunately, we are not likely to have that on the eShop, but keep an eye out for interactive demos in physical locations. That's not an announcement. I have some work to do when I get back, but keep an eye out for that.
So you just dedicated yourself to making this happen on the live stream.
Yeah, you're welcome to blame me if it doesn't happen. Not everything is for sure. I've got to go make it happen.
Let's see.
Hey, there you go, Mohammed. You know what's up. Biohazard Mercenaries 3D.
Interesting. All right, Ryan. Well, is there anything else you want to talk to these guys about for Mercenaries or for Revelations or your beard?
I've been telling people that it's a hockey playoff beard. But
why? Wait, why?
Well, I don't know. I like to lie to people about why I have a beard. It's pretty much a different story every time I tell it.
Works.
Resident Evil PSP. Ignoring that question. I think that's our standard policy, right?
Well, you don't have to ignore it. You just can't answer it.
Yeah. What's the next Resident Evil console game? Operation Raccoon City. No, that's not even true. The next Resident Evil console game will probably be downloadable titles, right? Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Code Veronica. Keep an eye out for those, too.
The next time, Mr. Smiley says the next time that you get asked about your beard, just say you're a Barry Burton fan.
Oh, yeah. Monster Hunter 4. I'm not your man for Monster Hunter.
All right.
Is Jill Valentine in Operation Raccoon City? That's a great question for Mike Jones or Eric.
That is one that we can't answer, unfortunately.
Will there be connectivity between Mercenaries and Revelations? None that has been announced yet. What do I look forward to most between Mercs 3D, Revelations, and Raccoon City? I've been playing a lot of Mercs and a lot of Revelations. I haven't played as much Raccoon City as I want to. I'm a big Monday Night Combat fan, so I like the idea of what they're calling three-corner combat by having two human factions, but have this other unnamed faction in the middle that's essentially just there to screw things up for everybody. To me, that's a brilliant concept. Like, don't let anyone get comfortable. Don't let anyone set up a trap. Have it be. It's a more active, more involved experience.
It really
Revelations
keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, for
having
sure.
played it. I mean, I can switch to the camera here just so you guys can watch it a little bit, I suppose. You won't be able to see much of their screens, but man, slowly moving the mouse over.
Yes, to Corkin Hussein. Yes, RE4 and Code Veronica are downloadable titles. We announced that already, right? I'm not making
We
that
did.
up?
We're actually going to have Mike Lund come in and talk about those, I believe, tomorrow morning.
Good man. We got a lot more information coming.
It'll be good.
My turn up?
I believe it is. So,
all right, guys.
Thanks, guys, for talking to us a little bit about Resident Evil. Thank you, Ryan, for coming in and answering all their questions.
I've got one last question to answer for J-Rock, because it's an important one. He said, when will Resident Evil be scary again? The answer is Resident Evil Revelations. The story is a connection between RE4 and RE5, but the style is old school, scary survival horror. Check it out.
Awesome.
All
Thanks
right.
again, Ryan.
Hey, my pleasure.
All right. We'll see you guys in a bit. We'll be back with Jason from Capcom Games Vancouver to talk about Dead Rising. We'll see you then.